Hello, I'm Hal Lublin.
And I'm Mark Gagliardi.
Since the dawn of humanity, one issue has gone unsettled. With the fate of the world in the balance, we're here to settle, once and for all. Comedy or drama?
That's right. Don't worry, everyone. We got this.
Podcast should have a theme song. Podcast should not have a theme song. Yes, they should. No, they shouldn't. They sound good. Yeah, but people are just going to skip past it. You know what? You're right. We got this.
Welcome back from your honeymoon. For the people who are listening to this, there's been no interruption in service, but in real time, this is our first episode recording together since you've been back from your honeymoon, since your wedding. We did a show last Tuesday, so we couldn't record then, clearly.
That's true. We were on stage together as Statler and Waldorf in the Muppet Treasure Scriptland.
Yes.
Scriptland?
Sure. Either one's fine.
It's Island. It's Scriptland.
Yeah.
I thought it should have been Muppet Scripture Island, but that's a totally different movie. That's that church in Texas that does like, we're doing Avengers as our Easter pageant, and every year they get sued, and it's magical when TikTok shows me what they did.
Doreen speaking in tongues.
Bork, 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 indeed.
Yeah.
We are all.
And
bork,
you as
bork,
well.
Bork. Yeah. And also with Bork.
How are you? You're married now.
I'm great. I'm married now. Hal, I can't thank you enough for stepping in at the wedding. Annie and I thought it would be fun to have all of our buddies just do assorted elements within the wedding, all the people that we love and want to make a part of the special day. And then we forgot to tell everybody that we wanted them to do it. So right before the wedding, I was like, oh, Hal, can you introduce everything? And you're like, I got you.
My favorite was your dad going up to give a speech and going like, nobody told me I was giving a speech. So
hang on a second. Now, did I tell you how this happened?
No, please.
Oh, okay. I got to tell you how this happened. So Annie and I called my dad and we were like, hey, Pop, we want you to make a speech. We would love for you to stand up and, you know, address everyone and make a speech for us for the wedding. So my dad, a few days before the wedding, hosted the two immediate families, not immediate, I guess, the slightly extended families, everybody who had come in from out of town, from Annie's family and from my family. We were all at a big Italian restaurant together. And as we're sitting and eating and we're starting to wind down, my dad stands up and he taps on his glass.
Sure.
And he says, I've been asked to make a speech. And Annie and I turn to each other. This is on Thursday. Our wedding is on Saturday. This is the family meeting at the Italian restaurant.
Yeah.
And we turned to each other and both looked at each other with an expression of, did he think we meant tonight? Because we meant at the wedding. But it actually worked out perfectly because that night, my dad, bless his heart, was nervous and was very sweet. And he was kind of awkward. And it's very weird for him to give marriage advice while my mom is sitting at the table as well. And it felt very like it all but began. And I love it. I love him. I love everything about it. It brought me so much joy, but it did all but begin with Webster's defines marriage as, you know what I mean?
Yes. You have to hit all the
when
bases.
It was time for him to get up during the actual wedding, when we were like, hey, Pop, this is the speech we wanted you to give. He got up, he'd had a couple of drinks, he's a little lubricated, and he just gets up there and starts telling stories and goofing around. And that is the version of my dad that I wanted to see, that I want the world to embrace. So it actually worked out really perfectly that he got that first one off of his chest at Buca de Beppo, which usually if you're getting something off your chest at Buca de Beppo, it's marinara. And a lot of it. That was my dad's speech. And also, thank you. You are now representing all of the Thrilling Adventure Hour cast.
That's right.
Thank you for the delightful surprise of a performance and new lyrics to Here's to Us. So,
well, that was credit to Ben Acker, who put that all together and then was ill. So we had to.
And then was ill and had to leave. I know. I went out to lunch with him the other day for his birthday. And I heard the whole story and I felt so bad.
Yeah.
But I'm glad he's over it now.
Me too. And your wedding
he has
is
a
lovely.
great new tattoo.
It's a great new tattoo of him being sick.
of him being sick. Oh yeah, those were unrelated thoughts, but I see how you could have gotten there. But yeah, it was delightful. It was a lot of fun. It meant the world to have you there and be a part of it. And I can't thank you enough, brother.
Oh, it was really a lovely wedding. And of the many weddings that I've been to, it was the most reflective of the two people whose wedding it was, which is a high praise. There have been tons of lovely weddings I've gone to. This one had both of your personalities all over it, which is like, that's what a wedding should be. It should be the two of you and what's important to you. And it clearly was. And that was great. Also, the best food I've ever had at a wedding in my life. That was
real Chinese
traditional, right?
This was the thing before the wedding. We were like, okay, well, what do we want to have to eat for the wedding? Mm-hmm. And Annie's mom, whom I adore, was like, oh, no, you don't understand. That's not how this works. There are dishes that you have at a wedding. And here's the list. And here is where we're going to get them. We're going to go try the place out first. Shout out to Shamsang is the restaurant that we got all of that food from. And it was, we also had our caterers that did the appetizers and the desserts, but
which were also great.
That big proper Chinese dinner was from this place called Shamsang that was just magical. I did feel bad. We used the line as our opportunity to talk to everybody. And I did walk up to a vegetarian friend right as she was passing the whole pig that was on the buffet line. And the chef came out in that moment to be like, all right, who wants an ear? Thwack. He could not have done that in front of a worse line member.
Amazing. This place, by the way, I've long said, like, it's the place that you look at and you don't realize it's probably the best restaurant. And the pictures of it look like like my dream scenario of what this place would be. I'm already like trying to figure out. It's like an hour away from here.
Yeah,
I'm like,
pretty far.
What is the day I'm going to go and do it?
Pick me up.
Okay. I'll pick you up and we'll go. We can relive. Oh man. So good. And now we're back. I'm sure more wedding stories will emerge over the course of our lifetimes. We've got a long way to go with this show. We've got at least another 3 weeks before we both quit. And
wait, what? What are you telling me now?
A lot happened while you were away. We're finally tackling this is a large one. It's a binary, which I know you enjoy. And you picked this out, comedy or drama. This is John David Ranney who suggested this. Thank you, John.
Yeah, thank you, John. This one definitely piqued my interest.
Yeah.
This is a job that we have both had for our whole lives. I think we have a unique opportunity to look at this topic from multiple perspectives because we've worked in this job that we work in and we are fans of both of these things. I know that you know the Oscars as well as you know World Series champions. And, and we both, we've studied comedy and drama throughout our lives, but this felt like a fun binary choice that I would love to approach, if I may, in 3 different ways. We can divide this up into 3 segments. I'd like to look at this and we can go broad view and then narrow that view down.
Okay.
So I would like to look at comedy versus drama, or in some cases, tragedy, specifically in this first part. I want to look at it holistically as a historian.
Okay.
Then I want to look at it as a consumer of both.
Okay.
Then I want to look at it as a creator of both.
Okay.
Because you and I have both as actors and writers performed and worked on lots of both comedy and drama. Mm-hmm. As viewers, we love to go see movies. We love television. We love all of the different media. But first, before we get to those 2 slightly narrowed in views, I'd love to just look at it in the world. You know what I mean? Like,
sure. Tell me, explain it a little more. I don't. I said sure, but the truth is I'm not 100% hooked into what holistically means. So take me in a little bit deeper.
Okay. Taking you in a little bit deeper. Okay. Let's go all the way back to the beginning. We're going to ancient Greece. 5th century BC. You've got the original. There's a soundtrack.
Odeon.
Yeah. Oh, the Odeon lends its name much later to a theater where we can see either a drama or a comedy.
Multiplexus. Dios Odeon. Oh.
Sorry, go ahead.
The thing about Multiplexos' movies where he only wrote sequels. Plays. I should have said plays. No, so you go all the way back and you've got classical Greek more, but then later some from Rome and Seneca, but you've got your great original tragedy playwrights, Aeschylus, Sophocles, and Euripides. And then you've got your greatest known comedy playwright, Aristophanes, who back in the day, it was just satires. It was all satires on different political elements. Then they moved into doing parodies of mythology. And then late, at the end of the century, end of the 4th century, they had I can't remember his name. It sounds like Mercator, like the Mercator projection, but yeah, I don't remember exactly what this guy's name was. But he introduced the whole concept of like family and relationship comedies. If you've ever seen A Funny Thing Happen on the Way to the Forum, all of the characters in that are the stock characters from Roman comedy.
Okay.
So I just want to look at them both, like how drama has, starting with those times, moved through to Shakespeare, and Shakespeare's arguably his greatest works were his tragedies and his dramas, and then moving into modern times and how that arc of drama has moved forward. And then looking at comedy and how that started with the satires and then the familial stuff. And then in the 20th century exploded into every version of comedy that we've got. So that begs a question as we start. When we say drama and comedy, do we want to narrow that more specifically to fiction? Do we want to look at whole self-contained stories like a play? Or do we want to look at whole series? You know what I mean? Like, how do you want to approach that categorizing element of it?
Considering the fact that they go toe to toe, I think we're looking at the overall concepts of them. Like you could say, for example, Breaking Bad or The Pit. Those are the greatest dramatic series ever made, just for the sake of it. Then somebody can go, well, I think that Cheers or The Office or the Dick Van Dyke Show or The Jeffersons, pick any show. That's the greatest sitcom of all time. So they each have their counterbalances. It's not like, well, they made more comedy shows, so comedy's the winner. I do think it's interesting, what I'm hearing in that early iteration of both drama and comedy is that comedies are more about what's happening in the moment, and dramas are more about who we are. The idea of like greed, lust, and that carries over into Shakespeare as well. Like these themes of madness and revenge and these like base human feelings that get blown up to 1,000,000 and dissected and explored over things like Hamlet, King Lear, Macbeth. And then on the comedy side, it was like things could be terrible, but at the end, nobody will be dead. And that's the main difference, is nobody's going to die in these.
And that was in Aristotle's book. I don't remember the name of it, but where his book of like theater criticism, he's like, a comedy has these elements and nobody dies. Like the stakes are lower.
Yeah.
Though I do love a high stakes comedy.
Sure.
You know what I mean? There's something really fun about a high stakes comedy. Even if the stakes in the moment are lower, I'm looking at something like the Cornetto trilogy. Right. You are in the middle of a zombie apocalypse. The funniest stuff in any of those 3 movies does not come out of the apocalypse. It comes out of the interpersonal relationships.
Sure.
Do you think that you can say the same things? Do you think you can delve as deep in a comedy as you can in a drama, just using those comedic elements?
I think you can. I think it's sneakier. I think with a drama, there's an expectation of how serious something's going to be. Just like on the other side, for a comedy, there's an expectation of how funny it's going to be. So when a drama does something that's funny, it stands out and it lends to the reality of it. Whereas in a comedy, if you don't have that brief moment of Jim Carrey almost in tears at the beginning of Dumb and Dumber, where you see how important it is to them, this real emotional moment of these 2 guys that are just suffering, that as happy-go-lucky and stupid as they seem, like neither of them are happy. And this crazy trip they're going to take is their chance to be happy. This is their chance at the brass ring. If you don't have that, then the rest of it doesn't land as well. So the serious stuff makes the funny stuff land better, and the funny stuff can make the serious stuff land better. Like you can't really have one without the other. So to me, when I look at this as an overall debate, it's like, which do I think is more effective? Like if I'm feeling bad, sometimes a comedy is great because it's an escape from that. And I just can laugh. And then other times when I feel bad, like I don't want to run away with it. It helps me process things, to see sad things. It might mirror, or I might find in it something that I'm dealing with. And because of that, it allows me to process those emotions and move through them.
Yeah. Using comedy, that is a choice within this. It's a funny moment in a drama or a dramatic moment in a comedy. They serve two different functions.
Yeah.
The dramatic moment is going to give weight to a comedy, and it's going to give stakes and reasons and give you the reason why you're rooting for this character. And a moment of comedy in a drama is that pressure release valve.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So where one adds weight, the other adds lightness. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And as you were mentioning, if sometimes you want an escape and sometimes you want catharsis. Sometimes you want weight to be added and sometimes you want weight to be lifted. And going back to the original Greeks, there were three tenets of original Greek tragedy. I'm using tragedy and drama interchangeably because they were used up through Shakespeare's time as the delineator. But then over the last couple centuries, the delineation has gone to drama or comedy. Comedy also used to have so many specific set things that had to happen for it to technically be considered a comedy. We're not talking about that.
Right.
We're really talking about lightness versus weight in entertainment in this particular moment. And yeah, if you've got a light moment in a heavy thing or a heavy moment in a light thing, dramas where a Greek tragedy has to have three elements. One is the chorus that lets you know the morality of what's going on. The second is a hero with a tragic flaw that leads to their downfall. That's the morality tale within all of it.
Right.
And the third thing is catharsis. You have to have something recognizable in the suffering of these characters. So that's now I sound like I'm listening to my therapist right now, where it's, well, do you want to sit in the ick or do you want levity and escape from it? You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, I think there's, in terms of the role it serves when times are difficult, and these are not easy times for large groups of people, it's really important. As important as it is to keep your head in the game and be aware of things that are going on, it's important to take care of yourself and to find moments of levity. I would say conversely, from a holistic place, when things are going well, I don't think it ever serves to be like, let's do something sad. I really need something. Things have been, my job's going great. Relationships going well. I have all these new friends. Every day is a blessing. And I really need to just get knocked down a couple pegs and not feel as good.
Yeah. You know how you can have like a pressure valve that releases pressure? Do you have one that adds pressure? Like an anxietron? Do you have an anxietron? Can you turn one of those on?
Yeah. Where's your anxietron?
Yeah.
Set me up.
But you know what? That's why I think a lot of great dramas surprise me, because they give me a catharsis I didn't know I needed. In a moment where it's like, oh man, I'm watching a thing and that hits hard. That happens a lot. That happens a lot to me in a drama where I'm surprised. I don't go in thinking to myself, I'm in this kind of mode right now. Let's say, I'd gone through a breakup. I don't want to go watch a breakup movie and sit in the ick, where generally for me, I'm going to be the type that's going to be like, let me just watch a comedy and get this out of my mind for right now. But there are times and moments in life and people for whom it's their norm where they're like, I'm going to watch a breakup movie. I'm going to watch this stack of breakup movies,
For sure. Yeah. And I don't mean to say that always has its place. I'm not saying I will avoid a drama or tragedy when things are going well. I just think in terms of the release that it allows. And there are times where I just want to hear something sad or I want to be taken someplace emotional. I don't want things to be light. So I definitely understand that. But I feel like the need for that pressure release is really important. Yeah. And so holistically, I would give comedy the edge over drama.
Holistically, as far as
just sort of its place in one's life.
Okay. So this is now we're talking about this as a consumer of comedies and dramas.
Yes. That's holistically, right?
Well, sure. Historically was what I was mentioning before.
Historically, I think holding power to account is super important. So I would pick comedy for that reason.
Comedy has the edge on because like you mentioned before, I guess I'd never really connected this, but yeah, comedy is about society and human folly that we all have in a macro sense. These are gross, exaggerations.
Sure.
And a drama is going to be the looking inward personal, this is this very specific flaw to this person in this thing, but it's recognizable. There are things about me that I am learning from this drama. There are things about society that I am learning from this comedy.
Yeah. And I'm
You know what I
glad somebody's knocking them down a peg and
Yeah.
pointing out the hypocrisy, pointing out the corruption, pointing out the buffoonery of whoever or whatever is in the moment. And that obviously dates back as long as we've been creating things like this. There have been power structures that need to be examined and dissected and sort of taken apart.
100%. Yeah, let's go back because of that idea. Let's jump back into a little bit of the further step back view historically at it, because I think through the years, comedy has done that. Comedy has done that more so than drama has, pointed out problems in society. But I think comedy's also done that by accident as well, a lot of times. And it has shined a light on things, sometimes in accidental ways, which means a lot of comedy does not age well.
Sure.
Like I can watch or I can listen. So I listen to a lot of old time radio. Right?
Sure,
I
me
listen to
too.
a lot of old time radio in the car. We both listen to, Radio Classics 118 or whatever they moved the channel to.
Yeah.
And I find myself more drawn to the dramas from the time because I can recognize something human in what is happening in a drama. Not that I can't recognize something human that's happening in a comedy, but in a drama, it seems to be more universal. It seems to be more evergreen. Whereas in a comedy, sometimes it's just, that joke didn't land. I don't get that joke.
Sure.
But more and more now it's like, whoa, that joke is inadvertently sexist, or whoa, that joke is inadvertently racist, and it goes for movies and all different media. Like there was a time when the crows in Dumbo were hilarious
Right.
to somebody. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there is a lack of sensitivity. I would say comedy has a shelf life that's a lot shorter. Like a really great comedy is one that sort of transcends its time. And there aren't many of those. You have to, and with dramas, things that are made in a certain time are always going to carry the stain of the era in which they were made. And I think comedy more so because it's making fun of things or having fun with things. When it is racist, when it is sexist, misogynist, transphobic, homophobic, whatever it is, like it doesn't hold up as well at all. Like the best of the comedies that we enjoy have less of that, but nothing will pass a modern purity test. And that's the case no matter what point in history you're in. Thankfully, we're at a time now where we're much more aware of those things. So that's something against a comedy, that it's maybe less timeless for that reason, but also like a well-made comedy. Is there a comedy you can think of that still makes you laugh?
Yeah, there's a style of comedy that makes me laugh. And it goes back to the universality argument.
Okay.
Right? If we're looking at things that are universal, comedy doesn't tend to do that as much as drama does with words, but comedy can do it with performance. I have always been a big Charlie Chaplin fan. I don't think it's any surprise that all of his characters and all of his work was infused with a sadness. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You can't play an emotion. An emotion is a reaction that a character has to whether or not they have achieved what it is they want. And so just watching him care so deeply about what he wants and failing in so many ways. For me, it's the comedy with a hint of tragedy to it, specifically nonverbal comedy that I think is evergreen. I'll give you two examples. One is my favorite Charlie Chaplin short. It's not a Little Tramp short. It's called 1 a.m.
So good.
And you know the one. Yeah. So for those who don't know, 1 a.m., it's Charlie Chaplin is a man in a tuxedo coming home from a night out, and he is drunk, and he has to get from his front door to his bed. That is his only task for like 9 minutes.
Yeah.
And it is hilarious. The set is it's like it's performed on a proscenium stage.
Yes.
There are staircases on either side of this dollhouse set, and it's just a master of comedy at the top of his game. The other one that I think is a bunch of masters of comedy at the top of their game, and it uses all of the elements. It uses a character thinking they're going to get what they want, doing it in clever ways, but ultimately getting thwarted, but still coming back and trying for more. It's that optimism of comedy. If that didn't work, how about I try this? And that is Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner cartoons.
Sure.
I think those are perfect evergreen comedy. It is timing. It is hubris. Like if a great comedy is the hubris of society, then a great comedy can also be the hubris of an individual. And you need look no further than Miles Gloriosus from the ancient Roman comedies, the pompous, arrogant soldier character. You can draw a direct line from that character to Anchorman. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that character has been around forever. The tropes of comedy in a historical sense. I think comedy has done more for the world. Man, it's hard to say than drama has, but I think because it can hit people in the heart about things that happen in the head.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. I've been talking for a long time. What do you think?
I have just loved the craft and care put into any piece of art. Like whatever it is, I enjoy it.
Yeah.
I think I want to answer this by going into the performing part of it and say
I was
that
just going to say, let's jump in what it's like to be a performer in both of these.
comedy is by several degrees more difficult than drama because drama is things that happen in your life. You have something you can draw on or you're being asked to draw on, right? To what is it like to be sad? What is it like to be in love and not have that love returned? What is it like to have that love returned and then lose that love? Like we all know loss. We all know these base human feelings because we've had them in some way ourselves. Comedy asks you to magnify that, but I think a lot of times the instinct is to go huge with it. And it's weird to say this as someone who does a bunch of weird voices in the Thrilling Adventure Hour, but we did one all last year where I was like a baby alien. And at the end of it, I had to deliver this huge speech. And the only way that works, regardless of what the funny voice is if it's like a serious, like it has to be this creature having this really important moment. And if you don't deliver that straight as if you're doing a drama, it wouldn't be as funny. Or it wouldn't hit. It wouldn't serve the piece.
But you also have to, you did this expertly. You have to deliver it as a technician. That's another element of performing comedy that, yes, you have to play it absolutely truthfully. But there is also that innate sense of timing that you have to have. Like this truthfulness has to happen in this window of time. It has at this particular, you know what I mean? Like there's a craftsmanship to comedy that I think you don't have to have in drama, which is that third eye looking at things. Like I had a teacher, actually I had a castmate that I was doing a workshop with, and then we went to his theater and did a show together.
Yeah.
And he said something that I thought was really cool and intriguing. He said, a laugh is a gift that an audience gives you when they recognize something human in what you just did. I would augment that for this particular conversation. I would say that a response, a cathartic response, or any sort of response is a gift that an audience gives you when they recognize something human in what you just did. I think you have to add a couple of extra layers for it to work as a comedy. A laugh is a gift that an audience gives you when they recognize something human in what you just did that surprised them.
Right.
Or that embarrassed them for you. But really the main thing is maybe they were surprised by the embarrassment they felt or whatever it is. I think it's that element of surprise that has to come with a comedy. It always feels weird analyzing comedy on this show.
It is really weird.
Yeah.
It's beyond weird.
It's very meta. Yeah.
Yeah. I think technically it's more difficult. Not to say that drama is easy, but there's a reason why comedians and comic actors do so well when they're put into a drama. And it's because they're taught to play things straight, to play the reality of things, especially improvisers. The guy like Bill Murray is a fantastic dramatic actor. And that comes from him being such a brilliant comedian and comic actor, is finding the truth in things and playing them. Because that's how you get a laugh when you're improvising, when you like find the truth in something, whether it's your character's truth that everybody recognizes and is waiting for you to say, or it's something so bizarre and yet makes sense in the moment for that character. Like there's just a lot of different ways, like you said, to slice it and dice it and get a laugh. And that's not something every dramatic actor has in them.
Yeah, I would agree. Look, and this is not to denigrate anyone who doesn't perform comedy and only
not at all.
Actor in drama.
Some amazing
half the time
actors.
that's just a choice.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
or it's not a choice and you've been thrust into dramatic roles. I can't tell you the number of very funny people I know who wind up in very dramatic roles that define them, even though I think shine their best in comedies. But yeah, there's something about like the dramatic moment. If a drama is going to let me really have this catharsis and empathize with the character, then the situation itself is going to help. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As an actor, all I have to do is listen and take in information and process it, which is the same thing that an audience is doing. They're taking in the info and processing. If I get bad news and my face stays completely blank, you could just record my blank face. Actually, somebody did this experiment once. Did you ever see this? Somebody recorded just a person's blank stare and then edited in various other things, like a person laughing, a person yelling and berating them, something very sad happening, all of these. And they edited it together to make it seem as if this one person was looking at that. And people watched it and they were like, oh, the subtlety of the acting. Like it was just the subtlest difference in how this person looked at this tragic moment and looked at this funny moment. And it was just the subtlest difference. And you're like, there was no difference there. What you're seeing is your brain connecting their, completely still moment to how you would be reacting if you were having a completely still moment looking at the same thing.
Right. Yeah. The context shifts everything.
Yeah. You said that in way fewer words than I could have.
It's just reflective listening. That's all. I'm just summarizing it.
So what I'm
for
hearing
me.
you saying is I've already forgotten.
Yeah, I think
let me ask you this. When was the last time you performed in a drama? Like a proper drama?
Trying to remember. I feel like it's just dramatic moments within things.
Yeah.
I mean, I did a horror film for Joseph Scrimshaw, but that is like, there's always an element of comedy in everything that Joseph does. But the key to it is to play it realistically. Like you're not playing comedy. You're playing a person who's in whatever situation they're in.
Yeah.
And playing it as realistically as possible. And you draw on whatever skills or beliefs you have as a comic actor to like understand, like, this is probably going to be a moment where people laugh. So how can I serve? You're always trying to think of how you can serve everything, which is the same thing a dramatic actor would do. But like the comedic stuff, like understanding there are going to be laughs in here as well. Like you're trying to sort of serve both. But I mean, isn't everything sort of, when you're playing Croach the Tracker, you're playing it honestly and seriously. For you, for that character, everything is very serious. So that's how you play it.
Yeah. But you still have to have that sense of like, that's that sixth sense I was talking about before of like, okay, I know Jackson's timing.
Yes.
And I know what he's probably going to do. Right. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
We also have to know, you have to keep more balls in the air when you're doing comedy, which also makes it a little fun and indulgent when you're in just a straight up drama where you're like, I don't have to juggle all these balls. All I have to do is, as a lot of actors say, get there. I've got to get to this state that I need to be in. And I need to give myself over to a set of imaginary circumstances that lead me to this moment, whether or not you use tricks to get there or you really just rely on finding it every night. And that every actor's different in that.
Right.
So I guess dramatic work does lend itself more to the oft indulgent processes of an actor, but indulgent or not, if they're fruitful in work, they work. You know what I mean?
For sure.
But some of the more self-indulgent doors get shut to you if you're also having to focus on, this is a comedy. This is a comic moment. You know what I mean?
Yes. So how long do you want to circle the drain of it's comedy? Do you want to do? How much of that do you want to do before we just say it's comedy?
I don't know, because the thing is, we haven't really talked about the great dramas. That's the thing. I think if you are looking for, there's a reason that the Golden Globes have best drama film last. Mm-hmm. There's a reason that it's mostly dramas that are awarded all of the EGOTs, or I guess there's not many of the G of that, but you know what I mean? The great stories that get told are those most human stories and the most dramatic settings and the most, like, the best dramatic play I think is probably better than the best comedic play. The best dramatic movie, I think, is probably better than the best comedic movie. You know what I mean? There's something that the gravitas required to pull off a really cathartic, classical drama or tragedy. You have to have so many people at the top of their game to tell a dramatic story effectively. I think that, yeah, you and I think that it's comedy because we work primarily in comedy and we know how hard it is. But if we're looking at just the body of work, I mean, look, I enjoy Love's Labor's Lost, but it's no Hamlet.
I would say that award shows in particular do a terrible job of honoring comedy and appreciating how difficult it is. So there are plenty of instances of comedic performances and comedic actors not getting the recognition that they deserve. And so it's like a big deal when Melissa McCarthy gets nominated for Best Supporting Actress for Bridesmaids.
Yeah.
Where like that shouldn't be the case. Yeah, it's a fantastic performance. It's well deserved. It can't be the only comedic performance of the last 10 to 15 years to merit an Oscar nomination. Like that's same, true. You know, there are tons of prejudices built into the Oscars. Some of them, like a prejudice against comedy is not as big a deal as prejudice against race or gender or orientation or any of those things. But it's all sort of baked in that to be a real actor,
are you saying that
you must do drama?
As a comedy person?
I'm saying that it's
as
just
a comedy
an
person,
observation.
You are a marginalized group. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying it's clear that where's my Oscar for the movies that I didn't do? No, I think that we're taught like, oh, the great dramas. The great actors are dramatic actors. The great actors are the Oliviers and Poitiers, like people who are, not to take anything away from them, are fantastic actors, but there are also great comedians. Charlie Chaplin isn't talked about as a great actor.
No, he should be. I think he's one of the all-time greatest actors.
Right.
I mean, Carol Burnett is one of the great actors of all time.
Yeah. Chevy Chase. Just kidding. But there are great actors.
The empathy that you have to pull off comedy is the same empathy that you use to pull off drama.
Right.
I'm not reluctant to just say comedy. I just want to make sure that we have covered all of our bases on this. Hal,
are you worried that people will think that you're being partial?
Because we both work in comedy? Yeah. 100%.
I mean, I think that allows us to appreciate it on a level as performers, like watching people, like I get to watch people who are way better than me do it all the time, and I get to learn from them. Just the same as with dramatic. Like we get to work with great actors. I get to work with you and all of the other great actors and learn from them. I'm not sitting here as like a master of comedy by any way, shape, or form. I love the art form. I always have. I would love it even if I wasn't performing in it. And it looms large in my life as something that's been there for me when I've struggled in a variety of different ways. Drama is very important. Like that feeling of release when a film allows you to, like, you're going to have this feeling. We're going to have this together. Yeah. This is going to help you. You're going to feel better afterwards after like the shroud lifts.
Yeah.
From a technical perspective of performance, from the importance of attacking power structures and speaking truth to power, and from the angle of that release you get as an audience member, I would pick comedy over drama. You can't have one without the other, but that's what we do here. We stupidly pick between things that shouldn't be picked between.
Hey, that's our job, Hal.
I know.
That's what keeps the mics on. You know what? You just said something too, and I think we're going to circle this drain for at least one more sentence because
go ahead.
There's something you said, and it's one thing that we haven't talked about yet is the role of the audience in this. You said we're going to have this together, talking about seeing a cathartic drama. When I went to go see Hamnet, Annie and I went to go see the movie, and we did not have enough tissues for that movie. And the lady sitting right next to us just reached into her box and handed us a handful of them. And it was one of those moments of, oh, we are all in this together. Now, had that moment not happened, had we brought enough Kleenex for both of us for the duration of this movie, we might not have shared that moment. But the beauty of a comedy is we know that we are all going to share this experience together because we are all laughing together. We are not only sharing the experience of the catharsis, we are riding the wave of the funny within this thing together. So yeah, I think for the togetherness of it, for the societal structural change that it can bring, and for it just being a damn good time. Bring us home, Hal.
People of the world, enjoy your dramas and your comedies, but when people ask which is better, drama or comedy, now you have an answer thanks to us. And if they disagree, let them get a podcast about it. It's Comedy Asked and Answered.
Boom.
Thank you.
That.
Yeah. Thank you, John David Ranney, for that suggestion. We finally got to it for you.
We did. I don't know how long it's been in there.
I don't know.
Probably a while.
It's gone now.
Yeah. You know what? Now it has been asked and answered, but there are many more topics to discuss. So please reach out to us via email at wegotThisPodcast@gmail.com, or
find us on social media at We Got This Podcast, with the exception of Instagram, where we are at We Got This Show. Don't forget to follow us, subscribe everywhere, including our YouTube, where you can watch some really fun live streams that we've done over the years. And we're always adding more content there, including episodes. If you like to have it just sort of running in a tab while you're working, you can listen to episodes of the podcast that way. We sure would appreciate it. And hey, if you missed Max Fun Drive and you're kicking yourself, there's still a chance. You can go to MaximumFun.org/join-WGT, and you can get access to that library of bonus content from all the shows across all the years. We've put a bunch of stuff up there. We put extra stuff on that feed throughout the year. So you can become a member for $5 a month or $60 a year. It is up to you, whatever you're most comfortable with. If you haven't done it yet and you're ready to do it now, we're always happy to have you. We're also happy to have people join us on our Discord, bit.ly/WGT Discord, where many conversations and suggestions are happening all the time. Thank you to producer Ken Plume, researcher Kate McManus, graphic designer Uri Kelman, and QA engineer Jen Alba.
And thanks, of course, to our musicians, Jonathan Dinerstein and Mike Furman, for our score and theme song, respectively. And thanks to you, the people of the world, for giving us an opportunity this week and every week that we are together. We took a couple weeks off, but I'm so glad that we are back together now, Hal and Ken. It's so great to see you guys. Thank you for all the love and support during the wedding and the lead up to it. And thanks for all the well wishes. You are why we do this show. We love the people of the world. We love the community. It's the most fun place to argue on the internet. We couldn't do this show without you. We wouldn't do this show without you. And to you, we say thank you, thank you, thank you. For Hal Lublin, I'm Mark Gagliardi.
For Mark Gagliardi, I'm Hal Lublin. And don't worry, everybody. We got this.
We got this.
Hey, it's John Moe, and I host Depression Mode and Sleeping with Celebrities, and I'm here with Max Fun Member of the Month, Kara Barnett.
Hi, John. It's great to talk to you.
We appreciate your support, Kara. How long have you been listening to the show?
I've been listening to Depression Mode since the first promo came out with Patton Oswalt. I've been listening since the very first episode.
Now, Kara, as our Max Fun Member of the Month, you'll be getting some prizes here. A $25 gift card to the Maximum Fun store, a special Member of the Month bumper sticker, and get this, a parking spot at Max Fun headquarters in Los Angeles just for you, just for a month or so.
Well, that's so exciting. If only I lived in Los Angeles. But I got my eye on some stuff in the Max Fun store.
Kara Barnett, thank you for being a listener, and congratulations on being this month's Member of the Month.
I hear the Member of the Month promos all the time.
Uh-huh.
And I can't wait for my friends who listen to Max Fun shows to hear me on the radio, because I haven't told any of them.
Support the shows you love, including this one. Check the show notes for a link, or go to MaximumFun.org/join.
Hello, this is Alden Ford.
And Mujan Zulfagari.
Two of the creators of Mission to Zix, your favorite improvised, obsessively sound-designed sci-fi sitcom here on the Max Fun Network. And the news is...
We're back! With an all-new miniseries set in the Zix universe. The Young Old Durf Chronicles.
Yeah.
Will Durf find his own killer before it's too late?
Ooh.
To find out how that question could possibly make sense, well,
Sure.
you just have to tune in.
Yeah, and as always, it's ambitious and labor-intensive to, frankly, absurd degree.
Indeed.
So, if you are looking for a little break from your own galaxy, we would love for you to check it out.
That's the Young Old Durf Chronicles. Search Mission to Zix, ZYXX, in your podcast app.
Or on MaximumFun.org.
Keep it fresh.
MaximumFun.org.
Comedy and culture.
Artist owned.
Audience supported.